Palantir has surpassed a monumental moment. Now, it's no end all be all, but it's a huge sign their big boy pants are on, and no doubt this was probably heavily helped by the recent inclusion into the S&P 500 index. Now, in other news as well, with the current excitement around the stock, folks are definitely keeping a close eye on management and their trading plans, especially Alex Karp. And he continues to have transactions trickle through with another 1.8 million shares sold for around $109 million. So definitely helped out by the recent price run up. Karp continues to offload shares. Now, I do want to make this really clear. This is not out of the ordinary based on historical trends from his plan and from all of management, actually, continuing to liquidate shares that are rewarded to them and have built up over their long tenures at the company. And I think it's safe to assume if they were okay with keeping their trading plans active when Palantir was below $20 a share, it really wouldn't make sense logically to stop the trading plans when we're above $50 and even into the 60s. Their main job and priority still, which I believe is most important, is continuing to nurture and grow the company itself fundamentally, not time the stock for themselves. So the bigger picture here, and in my opinion, is if we see an acceleration or a sale transaction that is much larger than anything we've seen before, then that will raise the red flags. But we'll continue to monitor as more sales come through, but share your thoughts below on insider selling and where you think it will go into the future. So first, kind of this precursor to their monumental moment is their move from the New York Stock Exchange now to the NASDAQ, where they'll officially start trading on November 26th, and that's as seen on the official press release. Now, as you can see, the stock really likes this news and has jumped after hours for it, and for a big glaring reason, honestly. Their index products like QQQ is well known, and Palantir could be included in this meaningful, more passive demand for these shares. Palantir continues to build their reputation, and this availability to be accessed as an investment vehicle becomes that much more important at scale. Now, the big milestone that I wanted to share that has happened recently for Palantir is their huge institutional holdings is now over 50%. And as alluded to in the beginning, a lot of this is probably helped out by their S&P inclusion recently, meaning that one checkmark for institutions to even filter them out or even look at them has been taken out. The attention of being in the index as well as the prestige of inclusion makes them that much more palatable to evaluate, even if they are quote unquote expensive, as well as if any index products are being offered by these institutions, meaning they should have a holding of the company to accurately represent the portion of the index, even if it's very small when compared to, say, the Mag 7. But big institutional ownership means a couple things. First is probably what we've recently seen in the recent price action. The demand for shares is more than just from retail now, with that pool of possible buyers being way bigger. This expansion of the dollars available to flow into the stock has expanded, and this doesn't necessarily mean the stock will always go up and can't be sold by institutions, but this widening of the pool does allow the company's stock to go through these buyers here in phases that we haven't seen heavily before when it's only retail. Now, the second big factor is how volatility can be affected. Now, with big institutional ownerships, there are blocks of trades that aren't necessarily offloaded all at once, especially if the intent is for them to hold. One of Bank of America's previous analyst reports on Palantir pointed this out, where volatility may actually simmer down for the stock with the S&P inclusion if there are a set of core holders of the stock who are looking to at least maintain a needed position for index products. Now, this still doesn't mean the stock can't go down, far from it. If an institution can and decides to offload a big holding of Palantir quickly, this will be pretty apparent if a domino effect happens where others start to pile in as well and try to get out at the same time at a much larger scale. So we'll continue to monitor for any big changes in institutional ownership, but as of now, this has been continually trending upwards, and with at least the recent price action, has been in Palantir's favor. But let me know your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next video.